We go. How's everybody doing? My name is Justin Woods, and I am a grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. I started using drugs and alcohol when I was probably 11, 12 years old, and during that time, it's led me to a life of destroying people that's in my path. 2 years ago, around the 20th of January, I found myself once again in my probation officer's office, taking a drug test, knowing that I was going to fail. I have a 3-year-old, she was 2 years old at that time, daughter that took a back seat to my addiction. As I'm in there and I'm taking this drug test, I know what she's going to tell me. I know she's getting ready to tell me that I'm going to jail. But all I can think about is what I have in the car in the parking lot. So when I burn that cup up, she tells me I'm going to jail, I immediately start looking for an exit route. As soon as she tells me I'm going to jail, I bust out the door, get in the car, and haul-tail it back to a safe zone. I sit there and I was on the run for about 3 or 4 days, and I finally realized, man, I can't continue to live a life like this. I can't continue to destroy the people that love me the most. On January 27th, I turned myself in to do another bid in jail, which will be my third one. Absent from my daughter again and competing and replaying the cycle that my father played in my life. And so my third time in jail, I realized that it's something that I can't do on my own. I needed help in some way. I just didn't know how. So as I'm sitting in the pod, they had these meetings that were in the jail, and I signed up for them. I had nothing else to do in jail except for stare at walls and count cinder blocks. So I decided to sign up to one of the classes, which happened to be AA. So when I get inside that AA meeting, I walk in and there's an old biker dude sitting there and he's dressed in plain clothes. And when I walk in, he lets me know that it explains to all of us in the meeting that he once was in that jail as well, and he was once in the same pod that I was in at that time. And at that point in time, that finally something that clicked inside of me that said, well, if he can do it, maybe I can too. It fascinated me that they let him walk in there and let him walk back out. He never had to put cuffs on or anything, and he was once in that same jail. It's absolutely amazing. So from there, I did my time and I got out, and I grew up in Williamsburg, not too far from here. I grew up in Williamsburg, and there's not very many resources there for somebody that's an alcoholic and an addict, with no money, with not that many resources itself. So I started looking out. I realized that I knew that if I didn't get out of the town that I was in, I was going to keep repeating the cycle I had done the other times I had been locked up before. So I started looking around, and I found a place on the south side of Richmond that I went to that, I wasn't too happy to go to, but I know I needed to do something different. So when I started this program, they told me it was going to be about 1.5 years before I got out of there. And I was absolutely irate. I was so upset. I wanted help, but I wanted to tell people how to help me. And that was my problem for about the first 6 months of my sobriety. I wanted help, but I didn't want to listen to what you had to say. And these were people that had more clean time than I did. They were doing it, and I was looking for how to do it, but I still didn't want to listen to them. I got in that program, one, to get my probation officer off my butt, to get my family off my butt, and, to put on a facade that I was better. And when I got there, the only thing I could think about was getting out. As soon as I walked in, I was thinking of the easiest way and the fastest way I could get out. May will be 2 years that I've been at that place, and I've been working there for the last year. I found a newfound love of my life, and that's helping people. I'm CPRS certified, and I'm a supervisor at the place, the establishment that I went through, the rehab I went through. There's nothing better to me than sitting across from a client that is coming newly off the street, looking for help, and seeing that light bulb go off in their eye. That's truly a blessing to me, and it's only through my higher power that He awarded me that opportunity. It doesn't matter what pathway you pick, as long as you find something that works for you. I don't care if it's AA or NA or CAA. They got a bunch of A's out there now, so I don't really care what works for you as long as you find something that works for you and you don't stop working at it. I know when I first come in, I was desperate. But then when I got to about a year sober, I kind of relaxed a little bit and didn't think I needed to work as hard as I did in the beginning. I found myself hanging out with old people. Back in Williamsburg, when I went to go see my daughter, I found myself with old people and found myself in an uncomfortable situation where I was faced. It was pretty much just me and the drug of my choice. Through going to meetings and working with somebody very closely, I knew I had those tools that I needed to get through it. I called my sponsor and I called people in my network, and somebody drove all the way from Richmond to Williamsburg to pick me up to get out of there. And that's another brilliant thing that's happened to me and a blessing from my higher power is I now have genuine friends. I don't have just friends that want to just want what I have or want to use me or want to abuse me. I have genuine friends that really care about my well-being. And that's truly a blessing. I'm a father now. I'm a present father now. I have a 4-year-old daughter that never has to see daddy high or drunk anymore. And hopefully she don't remember the times that I was. It's absolutely a blessing to be in recovery. I love this life. I'm in school now at J Sergeant Reynolds for my CSAC-A. This was never a plan for me, ever. During my life and my addiction and when I was on that path of destruction, I used people, I lied, I stole from people, and I caused damage that I'm still, at 2 years clean, I'm still trying to repair. And that's okay. Some of them aren't going to come back, but a lot of them have. I have a very close contact with my higher power. I stay connected in this thing no matter what. I have never been anywhere. As much as I travel, I've never been anywhere where there hasn't been an AA meeting or a meeting of some sort where I could go to. This is a worldwide fellowship of whatever fellowship you're in. This is something that brings us together from different walks of life, from the man in the gutter sleeping under the bridge to the spoon-fed child that's never had to work or do anything. It doesn't matter. We all have that one thing in common, and that's what brings us together to a brother and sisterhood that is nothing like I've ever experienced in my life. I've always wanted to fit in. I've always wanted to be a part of. And that's what I ran for, and that's what I'd strive for my entire life. Now that I'm in recovery, I have that, and it's something that I cherish, and it's something that means a lot to me. I cherish my recovery date, my sobriety date more than I do a birthday or a holiday now. And it's only through the grace of my higher power and the fellowship and everybody in here. If you're new, stick and stay. It gets better. If you've been here a while, reach out and help somebody. You might be that one person that can reach that person. My name is Justin, and thank you.
McShin Foundation is Virginia's leading peer-to-peer recovery organization. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, let us get you connected. We can help you build a solid foundation through recovery. Here at the McShin Foundation, we are committed to healing families and saving lives.